So when it comes to technology, every device in your office, from desktops to servers, even printers and the wireless setup, basically has an expiration date. But not surprisingly, many businesses also continue to use outdated or sluggish equipment long after things start to hinder actual productivity. So it's not just about buying hardware, but it's about reducing business interruptions and essentially scaling smartly as your company grows. So to kick things off, Alan and John, if you guys can walk us through how businesses can evaluate their current hardware landscape and I guess start planning a replacement strategy that won't break the bank.
Yeah, well, first of all, it starts with the user computer, the workstation, or the laptop. What we generally see is the general lifespan is about 4 to 5 years of a computer. If you are a power user, about 3 years seems to be good for replacement. And you can sometimes get a little bit of extra life out, but generally 4 to 5 years is what one should plan on for scheduled replacements of computers. And that also coincides with keeping the warranty, up to date for those 4 to 5 years. This also falls for servers. If you have physical servers, those tend to last about the same number of years, and you're going to want to keep those supported as well with all the hardware support. And with servers, the cost of that too is the implementation of servers is actually going to be a cost for you too, because there's a lot of work involved, several hours of labor. So you would want to keep that in mind when budgeting for those kind of replacements.
I think a good way to keep track of those changes and to set up your budget properly is to just have a good inventory system in place. So having a lay of the land on how old your devices are, servers, computers, peripherals, etc. You could then plan ahead and kind of upgrade in batches under that life of those devices, instead of getting hit all of a sudden with 25, 30 upgrades in the same budget time. You could kind of span those over and start replacing them in chunks prior. So really helps to keep that inventory and then maintain that life time schedule.
And so part of that as well is not just also user workstations, but we do have network equipment, correct? Would you guys be able to kind of talk about that as well?
Yeah, for sure. It's so it's slightly longer life time for network equipment, just based on their job function. So it's typically 5 to 7 years on those devices. And again, they suffer the same issues as you'll see with user-facing devices, computers, and peripherals, where just over time performance will degrade. As future advances come into play, then that previous hardware can't keep up with new technology. So we saw kind of a big thing that happened with this is as internet speeds increased, a lot of firewalls couldn't handle the increased bandwidth, so those had to be replaced. So even though they were fine kind of within their timeline, there is also the aspect of changing technology and how that affects those devices as well. So that'll be for your firewalls, your switches, your access points also are a good one to keep an eye on, because that technology rapidly changes. You have Wi-Fi versions that'll change, and then those new user devices won't be compatible, or they'll just operate at slower performance with those older access points. So really gain an inventory of all of your devices that you have, reviewing that on a scheduled basis, and then planning forward for when the time comes to change those devices out, whether it's for performance, whether it's for age, for warranty, etc. They're always going to have to be replaced as you go through that timeline.
Yeah, this is one of those things that can be really planned out and known about beforehand.